Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're working on a program to manage the finances of somebody looking out a few years ahead and looking at some alternatives. And today we want to focus on this idea of alternative scenarios. So normally you set up like your baseline of, what do I have for retirement? Do I expect Social Security? Do I expect a pension? Whatever. And then we're going to put scenarios on top of that, like what if I retire at this age or that age? What if my wife does the same? And today we'll look at a way to do that, I hope. All right. I don't know what it is. Let's run the test. Okay, so yesterday we added some, basically, we chose the tree structure we're going to use and added a view, that corresponded to it. All right, today, let's see, 2405, 16. All right, and let me go back here. This is our sort of starting point. So the notion is you set up some things, maybe a baseline and a plan, but then you put scenarios on top of that. And so we have the notion already of a list of required things, but now we want to add in what are some alternatives. So I want to be able to create a different kind of tree node that says the things beneath here, only one of them is going to be true. And if you stack two of those, well, it's combinatorial. So if this is 3 and you got 3 more and then you have a 2, that's 3 times 3 times 2 is 18 scenarios. So it's easy to blow it up into something that's not manageable. But I think for most situations, you can kind of get a decent idea and then go explore another scenario. Or else you choose a scenario and then try all these possibilities. What if the stock market sinks 50%? What if I only live a year from now? It's hard to say this stuff, but you need to worry about it sometimes. But you want to put in those scenarios and see what happens and make sure your plan is robust enough, or at least understand how it's not and what your risks are. All right, so let's get to our tree structure plan. I don't know, where did I put PlanTree? PlanTree. Okay. So the way we have it now, PlanTree is the parent of a composite. It's a protocol because we don't really need to provide implementations up there. We could. It could be straight inheritance. That's fine. But for now, at least, we're not doing it that way. We've got a protocol that both the leaf and the composite understand. And so the leaf, in our case, we just have streams. We're going to add people and assets and liabilities later, but they're individual things that either are true or could happen or something like that. The composite one, right now it's got all these children. Well, that's the situation of saying and. So all these must be true or are jointly true. What I think we want is an alternative. So it's going to look like this, but it's going to be the or node, and it's going to say one of my children is going to be the real one, and the others are not going to happen. So we want to express that. And I think my notion is for kind of an algorithm. Let's see, I lost my chat. Hang on. The kind of algorithm I'm thinking is if I have this tree with all these alternatives kind of stacked up on each other, like my picture before, I'm going to turn the tree of alternatives into a set of trees without alternatives. So I'm going to take, if I have scenario 1, 2, 3 and scenario A, B, C, I'm going to turn that situation into 9 scenarios. One that's 1A, 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C, and so on. And each one of those individually, I know how to assess a scenario that doesn't have alternatives because I'm doing it now. So it's kind of a projection or a transformation from one complicated scenario with alternatives to multiple simple scenarios. And then at some point we'll graph them out and show, hey, if you retire at 67 and you live till you're 90, you're going to have more money than if you retire at 62 and live till you're 90. Okay, so things like that. All right, now the net. Yeah, now this is a little weird. Because the alternative case, I don't want to evaluate. I mean, I don't know how to evaluate it. It's a quantum thing. It projects out multiple universes, and we're trying to cover those. Well, the composite nature is okay. The fact that it has children and it knows how to append and eventually will know how to delete. The net is problematic. Now we could make it the minimum or the maximum of its children or the average of its children. I mean, the average I could kind of see, but is that meaningful? Because if you have two scenarios stacked up, right, the average of each one, it's not really going to be the average. It's going to be the ones you choose. All right. But I mean, we could give it a meaningful number at least. Maybe average is okay. And then if you want to really see what's going on, you've got to go pick some, evaluate each scenario separately. And I've also been thinking about user interface for this thing, and yeah, I want to know which is the better scenario. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe the max is the right one. I could imagine being a choice as well, but every choice makes more work for somebody, not just us, but the users. Yeah. I mean, it's not unreasonable, but in a way, I see what you're saying about the max. If you know the better scenario, then you can explore more deeply and figure out how to get there. But I'm still not sure it's meaningful. I guess that's the real trick. Now another alternative, if we're thinking about these, right? I mean, right now net is on our tree, but we could do. There's like the visitor pattern that lets you define for each kind of node what code should execute, and maybe net is an example of that, and then we can apply that. Then we can have a tree structure. I'm not sure how we do it. Well, I can imagine a tree structure that's the definitional one that we're stacking up these alternatives, and then the evaluation is evaluating the particularized ones. But what do we do in this case? Maybe we just take the middle scenario or something. I don't know. I don't want to evaluate everything all the time, I don't think. But let's push on. Okay, so I guess we have a mechanism that creates plan trees. That's a good thing. And then if I said you can create this alternative plan tree, that's a good thing. But then I need to be able to walk through and produce that set. Should net return an array of net values? Well, I mean, it does, well, in the sense that you're already walking through month by month by month, it's doing that. But yeah, could we say you return an array? Right, or semi-equivalently a map. I mean, I think these things, the alternatives have to be named to be meaningful. Well, no, that's not quite true. Because streams are named, and if it's not three alternative streams, then that's okay. Yeah, I'm maybe I don't want to forget this idea. Like, I'm going to add it to the to-dos. What I always do when I get so unsure. Should net return an array of values since there are alternatives. The real problem I'm seeing is that you can't just evaluate one alternative and know what happens, right? So it quickly gets, grow. I mean, it's growing. I mean, not quite common. Well, I guess it's growing combinatorially. It's not factorial, but it's a pretty quick thing. Every time you do three choices, that's a multiply, not an add. So it definitely does that. Now here, my to do says add multiple sections. I think we can let that go if we focus on the scenarios. Okay. So I guess a thing that's going to happen no matter what is I got to be able to create a tree that has alternatives. So let's focus on that. A plan tree. Okay, let's get this over here and close these others and split this. Okay. All right. So I think, well, now I have some choices already. Okay. The choice I have to make is we have the composite idea. Well, the and composite and the or composite are like almost identical as far as manipulating the tree, children, name, appending. It's only when you get to stuff like net or maybe our analysis that makes it different. So one choice would be I make a second composite-like thing, one for and one for or. Another alternative is I'll use a little inheritance and I'll make subclasses of plan composite, one for ands, one for ors. I don't know. Well, I guess I can say what I want to do, right? Let's start some tests. I'm just worried this plan composite name is not going to live. Okay. Alternative. Okay. So, well, let's build a couple of streams. I should Yeah, I think, well, the problem is that you've got, again, if you have two scenarios going, you've got, you got the combinations. So it's, I don't know. It, I think you're right that there's sort of a view you want that's focused on each scenario, but I think there's also like I would if I did the net worth and I just plotted out all 18 scenarios I mentioned earlier, some of them will be strictly contained, strictly worse than others. Some of them will be better at some part and worse at the others. I mean, I can imagine looking at nine things and semi making sense of it. 18, it's getting to be a bit much. And if you double it again, 36, like really, I don't think I can keep track of 36 alternatives. Now, maybe you can filter some out, but there's a reason for each one of these. It's if it were totally stupidly obvious what to do, you wouldn't worry about scenarios. So, 62 for retirement might be, so I don't know, US, if you retire at 62, it's early retirement. If you retire at 67, for most people at this point, it's it's full retirement age. And if you retire at 70, you get some bonus money. So if you retire at 62, you're going to get less money for, I think it's up through age 76. There's sort of a crossover where you make up, because if you retire at 62, you're collecting income for 5 years before if you retire at 67. So you're starting out ahead as far as how much money you got in the 62 scenario. And by the time they get to maybe 76, I think, the lines all cross, and then then you've caught up, and the extra money is making a difference to you. But that scenario of taking it at 62 is probably a really good idea if you're only going to live till you're 65. Or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but if you're not going to live till 76, you're not going to come out ahead on the money side. You might, who knows? The retirement interacts with healthcare in the U.S. in kind of crazy ways too. You get, most people are eligible for Medicare at 65, and which is sort of, it's not full, but it's it's a retirement health insurance. If you retire at 62, you got to figure out what to do till you're 65, and who knows? It gets complicated. There's not usually one thing that's always better, because if it was, who would do it? But that's the way it goes. All right. So anyway, the thing I'm thinking is, I've been rereading James Shore's work on nullables, and one of the insights he has is that making building things is makes you vulnerable to changes. And if you were to build helpers to create objects, that you would isolate yourself a little bit better from changes. And I can see that here, because I'm saying build me a plan composite. Well, plan composite is, that name could change, or the idea of it could change, and so on. And so places would have to change. Now, on the other hand, like, somebody's got to build this tree, and I think by the time you specified a tree, it would be just as easy to do what we did here. But in any case, I think this notion of a leaf value is kind of helpful. So let's see what we do here. Well, we do that here in effect too. Okay, so let's make a little helper. Make leaf, and it's going to take I guess it's going to take a name. And an amount of $. It's going to return a plan leaf. Okay, so I'll take this for an example. And this should use name. It'd be nice to not have to say $. All the time. If I could do type alias, I think that would work. And this is value amount. Okay, we'll build a stream. This is make leaf. Try this. I ran across some article somebody had that they used single letter names for almost all their objects being constructed, And I've lost track of the article too quickly. It's one of those you read and like, I'll save this or something, and I never did. Oh, you're right. Amount. Well, he's $1. Wait a minute. To expect to type stream. String $. Oh. Missing argument. Oh, I did an underscore. I do that often. Okay. Yeah, I guess the alternative would be I just let you put an int in here. Maybe that would be better. Dollar amount. Okay, and this just becomes 100. I think that's okay. Whoops, except it's this. Okay. Let's run the test. Okay. And this is make leaf income 1. Okay, and actually this I think would be better as leaf 1. Yeah, that's definitely nicer. Okay, and this is make leaf. And I guess by that same argument, leaf 1, leaf 2. Yeah, I probably should at some point become currency. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I know, and yet I got to put it off for some reason. That's part of why I left it as a type alias for dollar too, because I think we can change this type and then make it a real type at some point. Yeah, money or currency or something. I guess money is probably a better name. Okay, so test should run. I don't think I ran them after that last set of changes. This one doesn't do anything yet. Okay, so all right, so I guess what I want to know is if I build an alternative. Well, I guess we could say, if we said max for now, then I'll take the maximum of its inputs. But I don't know, that's a little artificial. Because the input of this might depend on the other. So if I took the Social Security scenario and then I put on top the early death scenario, right, taking the maximum of this for age 70, and then you actually die, at age 64, it doesn't really reflect the best of it. But I guess the alternative is die or not die, and that has a better one too. All right. Let's get rid of this then. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to see. I guess if I build one, oops, I'll build one of these and look at it. Okay, plan composite parent. Well, this can't be right. With the leaf, you change into composite with 2 leaves when you add an alternative. That's I'm not sure. It kind of depends what we can do from an editing sense, but if I add a composite, then it's expecting more children, and they go in. But then if I wanted to take one of those children that's a stream, and I say, oh wait, it should be a stream of income. I mean, retirement is you stop your salary. Well, there's if you take retirement and Social Security, you stop your salary and you start Social Security at the same time. It's kind of a joint thing, and they both have to be true. You're going to stop working. That's what retirement is. And so it's a little you'd need to build. Yeah, should leaf contain an optional composite? I don't think so. I think a leaf should be a leaf. It should be a single thing, and the composite nature should be different. Now, if you like, I could imagine, and I'm not committing to anything, I guess, but I could imagine you have the tree interface and you right click on a leaf or long press on a leaf, and it says, wrap in composite or wrap in alternatives, and it lets you replace a node replace that leaf with a composite node that either requires it or makes it one of the alternatives, and that's how you could build things up if you've already got a leaf there that you want to include in the alternatives plan. But I think this is going to be plan alternatives of parent. All right, and then I'm going to ask some things about it. And I resist including the optional stuff in the composite. There is a way to make like one super node that holds children and holds a leaf, but I think that was kind of the struct case. Like, we couldn't have parents with names and children with streams. It didn't make sense to it. So anyway, I got to put a name on that thing too. Parent. Okay. So the parent name is going to be parent. Well, let's make it alts. And this is parent children count should be 2, yes. And then, I don't know, what we're going to say the net is. Well, I don't know if I want to commit to max at this point. I don't think there is a max. That's what I keep resisting. Like, you don't. I guess you're putting in streams or not. And if you put in a stream, then it's got some income and it has a max. So, okay, I guess it sort of makes sense. This is parent.net. And if we take the maximum, it's 2. Plan alternatives gives max for net, or plan alternatives net is max. Let's say that. And it's a little bit of checking things. Okay. Now let's put plan alternatives. Well, I'm going to make him a plan composite. We'll tweak all that at some point. Plan alternatives in scope. All right, he's got a name. Well, yeah, so this should, I think that's enough to build and fail. Okay. And I assume we're getting 3, the sum, not the max. Okay, good. Let's, man. Well, I mean, I kind of hate to do this. I guess it's saying you can see why I'd want to make a structure that lets me do visitor and not worry about it. Override. Okay. And now this is max of result and item.net worth, or net per month. Okay. It would be lovely to just pass in max as a function and have it apply it. Take the top half of the alternatives. Yeah, we'll take the top of the max of the streams, but even this is not. Well, what we haven't dealt with is, what if I define a stream and then I'd later define something on that same stream and say, now cut it off at age 60. Okay, if somebody retires at 60. We can't just calculate the raw max. Like, that doesn't make sense in a way. I mean, we have to take it into account. And right now, I think if you had children with the same stream as the parent, same name, they just get treated independently, and that's not right either. So I don't know. We're not accurate. We're not quite what I want it to be, I guess. Okay. All right. Well, that's. Oh, yeah, I can do that. All right. Let me do the same thing for. I got to find better words. Yeah, it's hard. And it's partly I'm fuzzy about what I want or what I think will work, and part of it is, even if I get what I want that I know I want, it's complicated. I think, in effect, I think this thing you're building, like this, with all the baselines and the alternatives and the overrides, I don't think it's a plan. I think it's a plan template, or a plan. I don't know what the right word is. It's the meta plan or something. It's the kind of overall choices, but I think in effect, we talked about panes of glass, not planes of gas, panes of glass. And if I come down and I stop salary in 2030, well, down there somewhere, salary was 4,200 a month forever. But now I'm saying, don't count that. Or maybe I have to work from the bottom up. Is probably more sensible in a way. I start off salary is $4,200 a month forever. And as I get up in here, well, alternative one, it's not forever, it's 2030. Actually, they're all the same. And then by the time I get to the top, what's the salary? Well, it runs they're all the same. So it runs from now till 2030. But you can't know that, any earlier. All right. And then I don't want to edit the amount of the salary here. I just want to edit the end date. And I think maybe I'm trying to be too flat, that these characteristics, maybe start date, end date, amount, those could change. And you should just specify amount changed or end date changed or something like that. I just don't know. But I do have this sense that you have to have the panes of glass idea that I start at 4,200 forever and I end up at 4,200 till 2030. And that's the one I use. That there's sort of a dictionary in effect or something that, keeps track of each kind of asset. Like the name is important to this. If I have two salaries, I can't have salary for wife and salary for husband both named the same thing. I've got to distinguish them. Okay. All right. But I think we got this. So let me check this in. Create plan alternatives using max to figure out net. Okay. Stage and commit. All right, and then I'm going to finish this notion of, I forget what James calls it, but it's this constructor helper idea. Maybe he just calls it helper. I can't remember. I don't think I have it out anywhere. But I want to do that for the plan composite and for the plan alternatives. And I think what I can do there, let's make something where you give it the name and you give it an array of children. And I think that'll help the building of it. Okay, so function make, we got to worry about names. It's not, conjunction and disjunction are the technical terms, right? And an or are decent terms, but they're also keywords. I don't know. Break out a thesaurus here. I thought I had a web page window open. Make pond. Well, it's not. I have the notion of pool for the things like, I have a pile of money somewhere, or I have my Picasso that I could sell if I needed to break out a couple extra 100 million or something. These kind of hard asset type things, or, fixed assets. All right, let's go to thesaurus. Conjunction. Union. It's almost the opposite of union. A joint node. They've changed this site for the worse in my feeling. All those big long words. All right, let's try disjunction. I mean, I know them as and or trees. Maybe that's good enough for now. If I say it like this, and he's got a name of string, and he's got children of PlanTree. And he returns, well, right now it's a plan composite. Okay. So again, I'm just going to steal somebody doing this stuff so I can make sure I've got a good structure. Okay, so let's let result equals plan composite of name, and then children dot for each. And $0. I'm kind of comfortable with that. Hope people are. In a small loop where it's just there's only one relevant thing, it's a bunch of plant trees, and let's just add them in. Okay, so build the composite, append each child. That seems good. Let's see if that works. Let parent equal make and tree named parent and containing leaf 1, leaf 2. Yeah, and I mean, it also, I mean, it makes it more robust to change, but it also just makes it better. It's easier to follow what's going on, I think. All right, and then let grandparent equal make and tree GP with parent and leaf 3. Okay. I think that's good. What's a pile of leaves? Yeah. I guess, right? Is that what? When you have money, it's like green. Do you call it leaves? All right, but that works. Okay, that's good. And then the or tree is eerily similar. And this yields plan alternatives. Name children for each append. Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, but there's I mean, you have lettuce, people call it sometimes. I don't know if that's only in bad detective novels or something, but, but yeah, you got a bunch of lettuce. All right. All right, let's use make or tree now. Okay. Yeah. All right. So aside from naming, yeah, let's refactor a bit. Okay. So one thing, I think you're right, like why are we using the word dollar all over the place when we know it really should be money? So let's rename this. and make sure that works. Got a couple. Plan was never mutated. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to take the subclass approach, and I'm going to make a plan observable plan and tree is a plan composite. Now, is that the best way to get there? Probably not. Let's come with this a minute. Let's rename the composite to be plan and tree. Okay, and now that took care of all the colors. Now change this to composite and make this be there. Okay, and this should be to composite. Ugh, wish I could name. I don't know if I'm making it better. Plan composite. Okay. Now, if I've done this right, that should still work. This is plan or tree. It sounds a little weird, but I think in the context of and or trees, it probably is reasonable. No, the and tree, well, yes. Yeah, the and tree sums, because you're going to have all those streams in there. The or tree is taking the max, saying, let's hope we get the best one. Okay, so let's commit this. Extract plan and tree from plan composite. Rename plan rename plan alternatives to plan or tree. And it reads ambiguously until you know it's an and tree. But we'll take that. Now we can do better, so let's go ahead and do that. The real thing we're doing is overriding dealing with how do you combine the children. And I think we can do that. Now, I think I want to make this protected. Is that how you do it? No. Oh, internal. Gives some indication that that's not the thing to call. Good. Okay. And then I want to give this a second argument that's operator. Combining operator is a function from money goes to money. Okay, and so this now needs init of name. Name of string. Just to get the structure in place. Okay, and then this, kind of the same. We'll make them different just to guard a problem here. Yeah. All right. This should also be okay because nobody uses that operator. And then we'll save the operator. Yeah, we got ABBA and Pink Floyd going in. All right. And let's save it. Okay, and now let's pass the real operators. So this, we want name and plus. And this, we want name and max. Again, we're not using it, but we're making sure it's... I always forget this. Like always, always, always. On the other hand, the compiler knows clearly, so we could just put it in there. But there must be some semantic reason. Okay, now let's make this be combining operator of result and value. Okay. Should still work. And now we can get rid of net here. Now there's another way to do it. Maybe that would be better. Well, let's take this. Reorganize functions between trees. All right, now the reorganization would be when you have subclasses that are so wimpy, like we can define a make method on here that does it. Or can we put it on here? Maybe not. Gosh, I don't know where to put statics in this world. Let's put it here. Static make and tree is needs a name. And what you're going to do is return plan composite of name and plus. Returns a plan composite. No, I don't need this return. Okay, so I can put these on here. It's a little clunky with this, to be frank. That's why I'd love to put it on PlanTree, because it's a simpler name. But okay, and now let's find who's using this. Should be. Oh, our tests do not. That's an interesting thing. Well, make and tree should become plan and tree. Let's make it plan composite dot make and tree. And does this care? Well, it helps a little if you give the most clear type. All right, and this becomes plan composite dot make or tree. Okay, we got everybody. So we already get the benefit of that helper function, that it's the one place that does it. But man, now it's a pity these are so similar. I may just live with it though. But let's make sure I test read right. Make entry, make or tree, make leaf. Okay. Yeah, I think that's better. Now, nobody should be referencing this. Nobody should be referencing this. We can get rid of these kind of minimal classes. And maybe I could have started there more, but that's pretty good. Now, in real production code, I'm wondering if do you ever have those children? Like when you're ready to build it? I guess you don't normally because you're working from the user interface side. You're going to create a composite and then populate it. The tests, we kind of figure out what goes in it and then we create it with that. So it's probably not needed for production. So we'll leave it in the test. I don't think it's any great harm there. We could make these the same if we made you pass this function in with the name. I don't think so. That's making the dependency show up again. So yeah, I don't anticipate any new strategies. I mean, any new combining nodes. I do anticipate new leaf nodes, but they're kind of, in a way, they're just kind of minimal and harmless, right? You have stuff that's specific to being a stream or whatever, but that's about it. Yeah, yeah. All right. Did I check that in? Not quite. Okay. Pull out static tree building functions. Eliminate subclasses. Yeah, I can recall going into one project and they had at least 30 subclasses of this class, and every class was just calling his parent class with different parameters, and they were being very diligent to try and test each of these, but there was, I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of work to test all this stuff that really could fit into some other kind of structure, and one class with some data would have worked better. Okay. Let's see. So stage and commit. Okay. Now, do we want to get this in user interface now or to work on the scenarios first? Well, right now we don't have any way to add new children. We have the top level one and we can add children to it, but we don't implement anything to let a node create things. And we have 3 types of things now, so we're probably behind on that. Is this of any use without the multiple scenario thing? I mean, where you define the scenarios, but you can't do them. Maybe it's still somewhat useful. Like you have all this stuff laid out. These are your alternatives, and you're going to think them through. I guess that's still a useful thing. Okay, so where are we? To 3:00. Okay. And there's thinking that's going to go into this. Let's run this. Oh. How did you build before? Hmm. Is this where I learned that I shouldn't have deleted those classes? Okay. Have you? Right. So this button creates new streams, but there's no button that creates new composites. And even if you had one of these composites, like how would you know the difference which one you had? You don't. And so maybe I do need to make those types. Ugh, back and forth and back and forth. Okay. So that makes me want to revert. Um, Maybe it's easier to just push forward, but all right. So the difference is plan. Well, this button right now doesn't do anything. This one will create a stream, but I think at some level, if you're sitting on a node, at least a non-stream. Yeah. Well, I don't think the streams need an add because they don't take children, but anything that takes a child, like this and node, should have a plus sign and let you delete let you add to it, and then you've got to select: do I want a stream or an and tree or an or tree? Um, so yeah, okay, that's why I'm saying this is already user interface is already kind of notably behind where we are in terms of semantics, even without defining how scenarios behave. Um, right. So let's find plan PlanTree view. Yeah, this one checks. That's the display. Where's the plan list view? Yeah, this is the one that has the plus sign that all it does is print clicked. um, so my ideal thing would be, well, I think if we did this node, this plus free hanging plus doesn't need to be there. We're no longer a simple list that you can just add the last thing. We are a tree, a true tree, and we don't have the ability to build it as a tree yet. So that's the right thing. So what should happen? Well, I would say you click on this button, it should pop up a dialog, and the dialog is going to let you choose: create a stream, create an and tree, or create an or tree. I got to find words for these things. um, I don't know what the right word for a sequence. Create. I mean, I can say create scenarios or create alternatives. Probably alternatives. Maybe it's groups and alternatives or something like that. But I got to find words. But anyway, I'm anticipating a drop down that's, create groups, create leaf stream, create group, and create alternatives, um, or scenarios. One of those words. And then when you select one, we should get the rest of the dialogue that creates one of those particular things. Okay, so well, this is another view. And it's this section header. Well, I guess he's different. Well, maybe not. I mean, he's fits different, but everybody's going to have the same kind of button on it for this. All right. So this is some other view. This is a add entry. I don't know, entry add plan view. It's a view. Stubs. Yeah, I don't like that way. I would rather just have var body of some view. Okay. And I don't know if that's the sheet. Okay. That gets us that. Is presenting sheet. And then toolbar. I don't need a toolbar. I'm going to take, yeah, this is create stream view. Let's go find that one. Okay. So this is this view is one of those cases. All right. And then add plan view. Well, something should, well, okay, let's get it showing first. Plan is plan. Can these have their own sheet? Okay. But if we toggle it when we hit the button, plan is plan. But I want that on each individual item. Or maybe I want this down here. I think I do. This one. I'm going to take this back. Okay, but on the PlanTree view, well, plan composite view, right now I just show the name, but what I'd like to do is show a spacer and a button. Kind of like this one. No, this probably reads better than toggle. Because I know it's true now. All right. So, okay. I think this should get me. Well, I don't have a way to show. Okay. Yeah, there's no. This is going to create a stream view. Whoops. This is creating a stream view. Okay. So maybe that's the. This has to have a plan. No, it's not a plan though. Yeah, I mean, I think they should be in the same view, either tabs or a drop down or something to select which one you want to make happen. And that should be this view. I mean, this should choose plan type is kind of what it type to add. So, but I think what's weird is you should be modifying. Like plan is not a tree, right? It's a list of stuff. Oh, did we get rid of? Oh, we still have streams in there. Okay. Right. We should be working on contents now, like we do for this. I don't know if we finished that part. I guess I got lost. All right. And also let me capture what's going on so far. So we added made PlanTree be an and or tree. I think that's what we've done. And then I want to turn scenario alternatives or turn a plan with alternatives into a set of plans without using or that don't. Okay, so the mechanic of that. Yeah, most common form. Yeah, I would think like stream maybe is more common. At least, yeah, I would say. All right, but now we're making a make plan view able to add tree nodes. Is kind of what we're doing now. All right. And so this, well, I want that called on my plus. I mean, I want to show that. And maybe I do need to in my own state. And then set that true. Okay, and if you do that, like somewhere I should be able to put a sheet. Now we have it on here, but that's the page one. I want it on the particular plan node. Well, maybe my problem is I'm not using my classes I have. So where's that? Okay, I'm going to close these. Plan tree view has plan composite view. I think this is the view of a composite, like our header. We just have that header, the top one. But this a moment ago just said text like we did there. I think we should make that thing call this. So in here, he should be calling plan composite view with plan being plan. Well, what is planned? Yeah, that's not complaining, right? Plan is an actual. Oh, come on. As plan composite. Why are you not telling me that? Okay, well, let's go to plan.contents. Plan.contents is a plan tree. Okay. So this then, well, maybe our way of decoding this is this. We don't want to care about the exact type. It's kind of not our problem here. Okay. That seems like progress. And now we don't need the H stack because there's only one thing in it. Okay. Let's see that should be kind of the same. Except for one slight problem. He's showing the header. For each plan contents. Okay, so that's the top level sections. And maybe sections would be a better word. Because I've confused myself twice on it already. Okay. For each plan in plan.sections, well, this is a plan. Maybe it's a plan tree. Okay, so if we're showing, clearly we've been showing that header. What? We show the section header with this plan tree view. Plan tree view, that thing should be a plan composite. He's clearly not a stream view, so he's showing text, spacer, button. Where's the end of my button? This doesn't even make sense compile-wise. Expected expression. Oh, that's the close of it. Okay, never mind. Why are you not showing the button plus? Is there a plan in the composite? Yeah, he's got an array of children. So, I mean, this must be coming. It's being formatted by the section. Let's put hi. Make sure this is what's getting printed. It is not. Let's try it a different way. Okay. Oh, I need to make this an H stack. All right, let's try out our preview. So it really did get this. Let's take that out too. Well, let it run first. Tree high. Okay, let's take out that. And there is the plus sign. Okay. Was I missing it before? Okay, well, back to this. A lot of work to get back to where we were in a way, but now it's positioned to do more. And we know it's coming from the plan composite view, which has a plan and has a sheet. All right, so I should be able to say, like this guy, sheet is presented with this, do something. Is presented with this. And yet this should be add plan view. And he does need a plan. Okay. Oh man. Cannot convert. Add plan view. I want this to take a PlanTree. I'm going to find a better word for plan one of these days. Init wrapped value must be an object conforming to observable. X conform to observable. PlanTree. Well, his children are all observable. Can we know that this is a plan composite? Maybe we can. Yeah, we know this is a plan composite because we check it up there. Okay. Head plan view takes plan composite. All right, let's run this. I should get a plus sign that presents a sheet, I guess. That's my hope. There it is. Okay. Good place to stop for a break. So we'll take a break, but now we have the window that we need to add either a stream, an entry, or an OR tree. So I think it's a good place. All right, see you in 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll come back and tackle that. All right, welcome back. Okay, so I think the thing we can do to move forward just a tiny bit, right, where's, now I'm getting to the point where the views, I really need to separate these. All right, so let's make view. And then content view. Okay, well, we have the create stream view. He kind of expects to be on a sheet. He has button, and his button is a plan.add, but what's his plan? Okay. Yeah, this is the point where I think we want to cross over. And instead of plan.add, I think this should be getting a plan composite. But I don't know if there's any consequence to that. We add plan.add stream. Let's go look at plan.add. Oh, all he does is append it to the plan contents. With a plan leaf. If you add a stream. Yeah, I think we can do that. I think we could make this take a plan composite, because those are the things that can add. Got all that stuff, but then plan.add non-function type bonding of subject. Cannot call value of non-function type. I mean, bindable is supposed to be the two-way thing, right? So I don't know why I can't add anything to him. Oh, because it's called append. Well, let's extract this. Do I have this? No. Okay, so we'll build the stream, and then we have to do plan leaf of stream. Okay, just like in here, we call plan leaf on the stream before we append it. So we're basically doing the same thing. Plan contents is our composite, and we're adding stuff. All right. Is there a plan in the composite? Well, there will be once we add one. So right now, with the way we're running, that my finances is a composite, and so we just normally, by default, we're going to add. Now, why do you only find that when I'm running the view? Create. Oh, this one, I'm going to hide this one for now. Because I think we're going to only add to the composites in our thing. So that should be okay. All right, so I should be able to add a stream. Ooh, did I not call that? Plan list view. All right, he should be a create stream view. He should take a plan. Okay. All right, so create stream view. I thought we turned off the spelling thing. Okay, so I think what we have now is more or less what we had before. Not the coloring, but we have a list of things that we can add to. All right. We switched the order before, so the latest one was on top, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. All right. So even though our tree, I mean, we have a tree structure behind the scenes, but we're treating it like a list for now because we don't have a way to add and nodes and or nodes. All right. So let's take this for a win. All right. So make composite nodes able to add new entries. Streams only for now. Yeah, with possibilities. So everything we do from now is going to start adding this ability to make it a tree. We hope. Okay. So I think that says we don't need presenting sheet anymore. And we don't use presenting add in here anymore. And we don't really need a toolbar entry because we don't do add and we don't do anything else. Okay. Well, that's getting almost readable now. All right, PlanTree gets his children identified by name. That's a little questionable, but okay. And children. All right. So we'll just confirm by running. The plus sign in the corner is gone, and this one still works. Probably should have a cancel in here. Oh, I guess we probably implicitly do. Yeah. Okay, it's a sheet. Good. Okay. Now, this thing, let's pull this out. I guess we need something. Oops. This is going to grow. Okay, right now it's create a new stream. Okay. So, so what I think this should be is I like your suggestion of kind of a little toggle view or something to show, to choose which one. All right, so let's, I never remember these names. I started a comic series of like every little UI component because I think I can recognize them quicker than I can remember their name. It's not toggle, that's a flag. Selector? Swift selectors. Nope, that's not the right word. Picker, is that the one? No. Unless it's one of the, yeah, that's the one. Picker still segmented. Now, I don't know if that's usually you have enums for this stuff. I think that's what they did here. Yeah. Um, hmm. Well, let's define our little enum. It is kind of local. Add type. The case is stream, group, or scenario. And we'll start off, I think stream is probably the right one to start with. Really, you can't guess. Okay. Can I just... Do I have to say something to make cases work right? Yeah, case iterable. Oh, this will do it. Why are you not in my preview? Well, you shouldn't be. Add type. Okay. Why do I oh. I always forget enums can have these extra fields. And I know I've worked around it, so there must be some place where it's a little confusing. All right, come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's make this text, add to plan, and well, yeah, title font is fine. Give it some padding. No, I don't think we need create a new stream if you're saying if you have that in there. Okay. Now, how do you get those choices? I forget there's a way to do a tab kind of thing with this, I think. But I don't want the tabs on the bottom. I just want these choices. Maybe Yeah. That's true, but I think this is okay. We can deal with these alternatives. Doesn't exist. I might have a switch statement now. They keep improving this thing. Scenarios. Okay. Okay. Create scenarios view. I guess I'll steal this same one. Okay, where's our head plan view? All right. I'm going to check this in. It's a little artificial that you shouldn't be able to do those last two, but add views to add stream and tree or tree. Because I want to see if the switch works in here now. Oh, looks like it might. Yeah, okay. Case.stream, do something. Case.group, do something. Case.scenarios. And the reason to prefer the case is with the if, what if I added a new type? Then it wouldn't ever show anything and nothing would complain. So I really should have an else clause that complains. But now I have a case statement, and I know it checks for making sure the cases are exhaustive. And it makes it just a little touch easier to read too, I think. All right. Now I still wish this button would be, let's center it. Yeah, I want that. Okay, good. Okay, now the other two are so similar. Maybe they'll diverge over time though. So maybe it's just sort of accidental commonality, but create stream view. Okay, I think we want this. I'm not sure what the problem is. Bindable plan. Oh, probably missing a brace. Yeah. Amount. Okay, I don't need any of this stuff. And I need the dismiss button. All right, a little bit of a short form. I don't know if it's worth. Again, this is similar. We could pull out, but we have to make, I guess, a little subclass that knows one function. Or maybe we pass in make entry. Yeah, pass in make entry. Well, let's do the other one. We'll do the duplication and, well, I guess all that size. Yeah, I don't disagree with the idea of making it optional, but I think the real thing is the multiple scenario analysis is going to take care of it. And I think we could also, I don't know, I was trying to think of, like, given 27 graphs, right? We want to identify, are there graphs that are always better? If something is, um, if this one is always beneath this one, then, like, why would we prefer this one? Just drop it out if it's really definitely worse. But the thing is, most of them are different. They have different robustness characteristics, maybe is the way I would think of it. One plan might be better if you're dying young, and another might be better if you're living to an old age, and another might be better if you have to go to a nursing home. And, until you know what those future scenarios are, you still might want to consider each of these plans. So I don't know. The other sort of UI thing I was thinking was, if you have these 27 alternatives, I think you get your graph with all the stuff on it, but I was going to put the list of alternatives beneath, and then I'm thinking, like, I don't know if you've ever messed with a recording console, but there's a button for mute that says turn this one off, and there's a button for solo that says only show this one. Now I could see that solo one, maybe it makes that line extra bold and all the others fade out to a pastel or something, but it really makes it pop out even if it doesn't show only that. Showing it in contrast to the others might be good. And I could imagine that applying to any of the cases, sort of a checkbox, just are you on or off, and let you turn off the whole set of scenarios as well, and do those. Yeah, we want to be able to disable things. I think as you want to explore this, you just want to see what turning this off. What if I don't decide about Social Security? How are things looking? So I think there's going to be an art to designing that interface for the viewing of multiple plans, and I think the plan we have now on the front page, I almost think is not relevant in the scope of scenarios being involved. Now, maybe the average is an okay thing, or the max, or whatever piece. Yeah, I don't know. All right. But this is looking like I want it to look. Does that just work? Are we that far ahead? Something's still unhappy. Yeah, that's probably the preview. Great. Okay. So we do this. Okay, let's add a salary first. And now we're going to add a group. And he's going to let us add something. We'll add a stream. P1, 100. We don't have to fill those in. Okay. Yeah, it's a little annoying. That I have to open it once I do. Let's add scenarios inside there. Okay. Oops. Yeah. I mean, it's nested. It would be nice to add it and mark it as open. But I don't know if that's, I don't know how you do that programmatically. Yeah, there must be some way. Okay, so let's see. Swift outline group. Expand. Well, let's just say expand. Not too helpful. All right, let's go here. Create a custom group style. Declare conformance. Make body. Configuration dot is expanded dot toggle. Oh, okay, that's the toggle for it. Set expander. Sorry, did I miss that on here somewhere? No, I think they delegate it to the config. I don't know if this stuff. Oh, here we go. Let's try groups expanded by default. Yikes. Okay. Group is expanded. Content. Hmm. Right. Well, I don't know. They're writing their own disclosure group instead of using the outline group. Not even in there. I mean, it doesn't seem like I have a way to pass that down. Hmm. Another view to do that. Okay, content view. Hmm. Okay, so they're saying outline group with expandability under control. Um, yeah, well, I think outline groups are implemented using disclosure groups. So I'm not sure what outline group gives you above that. Um, see if this thing makes any distinction there useful. This one is kind of closest to what we've done. I think we have a top level list with sections, and then inside each one is an outline group that deals with that entry. Um, well, maybe we can find out. Swift UI disclosure group versus outline group. Well, I think maybe I don't know if a disclosure group does the indentation and all that stuff that the outline group does. Um, can we get from the... I think this one laid out what you get. No. All right, now I'm wondering if I add another one. Let's add one at the top. If I add a group, yeah, we don't get a disclosure button until we add something to it. That's something different. Okay. I don't know what they're talking about here. Okay. Well, yeah, there's a thing on up here. Start out expanded. And he's doing it with... He's not an outline group. If let child equals known key path of child key path and child is not empty. Well, I don't know if that's the... We refresh what's going on. So when we add there, we add a stream. It does add to it, but we don't see it until we open it. Yeah, Well, I don't think that's the worst flaw in our app as it exists. Okay. I guess I'll read a little more, but I'm not seeing anything that looks like the answer. Maybe this one or that Stack Overflow works out. It's hard for me to judge. Okay. Well, let's add that to a note. Make a plan view able to add tree nodes, groups, or scenarios. That we did. All right, turn a plan with alternatives, add multiple sections. That's a good one. Yeah. I have a question too. The other one was, is the graph right? I'm getting the feeling that it's not. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it is not because, oh, these all, okay, let me add one that's, let's start in month 50. Yeah, this graph is not right. Okay, because we should have an uptick. We add 5,000 a month to somebody that's only getting a couple thousand a month, right? That line should go up. So I think that's actually our priority. Okay. Is net returning the correct value? Well, I don't know. But these two are required, so it should be doing a salary for 40 months and then kicking in something else in 50. So there should be a bend in the line somewhere. Well, we have 4 minutes. We can take a quick look, I guess. I guess that's in the more model-y aspect of things. PlanTree. Okay, so I guess if I break here, I'll have to run it again. Oh, let's turn this off for a minute. Okay, that's our 0 line. Or what is that blue line? Oh, that is true. Yeah, we use name, and that's not unique, but I'm not quite sure why it should be multiple times in a collection. Oh, did I enter it twice? Okay. Yeah, so I mean, this is clearly wrong because this starts in month 20. Okay. But am I not breaking? let's start that in month 3. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're ignoring the month stuff for some reason. Result item.net for month. Why? So that's basically asking stream. Oh yeah, that's wrong. Okay. It should look at the month and decide whether it's active that month. All right, now I don't know if stream does that, but it doesn't get month, so how would it know? Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. Um, okay, that gives us somewhere to start. All right, well, let's see. Today's Thursday, so we'll pick it up there next week, Monday 2 to 4:30, and 6 to 8:30 p.m. That's Eastern time, 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. I think it's a good week. It's a good start. I would have liked to get through the scenarios a little bit more, but I think we had enough to do bringing in those views and getting those up to speed so we can actually manipulate our tree. That's a good move forward. So, all right. Well, thanks for your help this week and have a good weekend. Take care. Bye bye.